All right, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another session of ReAdjust and ReEnergize. So for today's session, we're going to start off with a few exercises while seated on a chair. I have a chair from home here. The first thing I want to do is work on the neck, doing some more static exercises or stretches for the neck. So we'll get started off with that. I got my timer here. It's going to last about 20 seconds for each side of the neck. What I want to do is bring that chin down to the chest, and I'm going to take these two fingers and pull them to the side, and that way I'm working on the back end of this side of my neck. Feel free to take your other hand and place it right under your hamstring. Give it a little bit of a tug while you're pulling down on the chin, and you might find you get even more of a stretch this way. And 3, 2, 1, release. Let's slowly move to the other side. Again, two fingers right on the chin, and take your free hand and give it a little tug just under the hamstring here. Holding that position and feeling that all here in this part of the neck. Nearly done, and release. Bring it center with your head, looking straight up. All right, next up, I'm going to come a little bit closer so we can get a better view of what to do with the shoulders. We're going to do some retraction and contraction with our shoulders. So how I want to do that is bring the shoulders forward, and as you do, lower your head, and then bring them back as you look straight ahead. Going down with the head and up, just like that. Really focusing on moving your shoulders as far forward and back as possible. You'll also emphasize a good stretch in your back. And as you bring the shoulders back, you really puff out your chest while squeezing your shoulder blades together. Just a couple more reps here. Just increasing that blood flow for this part of our body. And it also helps our posture a little bit when we do motions like this. Last one, forward, and all right, release, look straight ahead. And next up, I want to work on the forearms. The way we're going to do that is we're simply going to lift our hands up and down. So about 20 seconds, I want us having our palms facing in front, and we're going to lift them up and down, just like that. Another way to increase the blood flow here. And the more important thing I want to make clear is we're not going to do full range of motion with the forearms. It's not always the most comfortable for everyone. 3, 2, 1. All right, let's take our hands and turn them over, palms facing us, and we'll lift up and down just like that. So working two different ways. And again, don't worry about full range of motion. Just worry about getting as much range of motion as you can without any discomfort. Let's do one more here. All right, shake that out. All right, next up, we're going to focus on the hips. The way I want to do that is you can start from your seated position. You'll come up all the way, and you're only going to come back just a little bit here. So I'll give you a side view to show what I'm talking about. Right about here, coming up, good squeeze in the glutes, and then dipping your hips just a little bit, about half a foot or 6 inches. Coming up and down. I really do want to emphasize squeezing the glutes as you bring your hips forward. A little emphasis there. And keep them tight as you go down. The reason I want to do small range of motion here is it's really going to help fire up the muscles in the legs, especially the quads. It's going to make us a little bit stronger that way. This is especially good for if there are days where you just are stuck at your desk for the entire day. Last one here. All right, very good. Next up, let me pin my video here. Hello. Just going into the last exercise of our first set here. What I want to do is work on a little pendulum swing. So you can do this while standing at your chair. And circular motions with the leg. Just like that. So for those of you just joining us, that's totally fine. You can start off with these rotations here. Just going in one rotation for one leg, and we're switch legs in 3, 2, 1. Let's switch it up and rotate with the other leg. Using my chair here to help with balance. We got about 5 more seconds here. 3, 2, and 1. Excellent. All right, so we're going to go back to our first exercise. We can do that while seated. And we're going to work on the neck. So how I want to do that, if you did not see the first time, 2 fingers on the chin, bringing the chin down and to the side like so. With your free hand, place that right under the leg and give it a little bit of a tug here. Some find that it is much better that way when you tug, to have a little stretch right here in the back side of the neck. And 3, 2, 1, release that arm and let's slowly rotate to the other side with our chin. Again, 2 fingers on the chin. I find that it does help to get a good stretch that way. Little pull just under the leg. And again, really focusing on this muscle right here on the neck. 3, 2, and 1. Release, looking straight ahead. And next up, what I want to do is work on the shoulder. So the way I'm going to do that is a forward and back motion with my shoulders. As I bring my shoulders forward, I'm going to lower my head. And then I'm going to bring my shoulders back and look straight ahead. Like that. Down. Taking your time with this. This is the pace I'm going with, but if you find that you want to go a little faster or slower, that's okay. Really focus on puffing the chest out as you bring your shoulders back and really rounding your back as you bring the shoulders forward. We got about 15 seconds left, so we'll keep going with this. Nice and slow. Really focus on the contraction in the chest here. And one more contraction in the back. Good squeeze here. We're going to hold for 3, 2, 1. Relax the shoulders. Shake out the arms. We're going to work on the forearms next. The way I want to do that is palms out in front as we straighten out the arms. And I want to do some full range of motion with the arms or hands like so. Up and down. I say full range of motion. Give it as much as you can without feeling any discomfort. If you feel like there's discomfort here, you might want to come up only as high as here. Up and down. Again, focusing on blood flow today. Getting as much range of motion in as possible. And let's take our hands and turn them over. And let's go up and down the other way. Again, going as high as you can comfortably. Taking your time here. We got about 10 seconds before we switch to our next exercise. And all right, relax those hands. And next up, I'm going to be working on a little hip dip and thrust next. So I'm going to start in my seated position. I'll give you a quick front view first. We're going to start from the seated position to standing all the way up and only going about halfway down. And we're going to continue with that halfway down. Good squeeze in the glutes, and then dip them down just a little bit into that half squat hold, and then come right back up. And remember that squeeze in the glutes. The big thing here is really emphasize bringing your hips forward and bringing your hips down and back during this time. Go as low as you can so that you can really feel the muscles in the quads, especially the quads, working like crazy. This is especially good if you have a long day at the desk and you just want to get a good work in for your legs. Let's do one more. Coming up, good squeeze in the glutes and relax. All right, shake those legs out because we got the rotations or pendulums with the legs coming up right about now. So focusing on one side, this is our very last exercise here. Rotating like so, small circular motions. Right now, my toe is making a big circle about as big as a soccer ball right now on the floor. And as for my other leg behind the chair, I'm on my toes, so I have enough room for this leg here to hover and do the rotations. 3, 2, 1. Let's switch to the other side. Again, I'm going to be on the toes for this leg behind the chair as the other one here does the rotations, really getting some good blood flow in for the lower extremity from the hips down. And it helps with a little flexibility. This is especially good right after those little hip dips we did a minute ago. 3, 2, 1. Release, relax the legs, shake them out if you need to. And that is it for ReAdjust and ReEnergize today. So thank you for joining me.